Welcome back to Rides and Drives Team Radio, everybody. Boy, has it been a big news day in the NTT IndyCar series. And I'm here with Kaz to talk about some of the news today. Kaz, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, thanks, Harvey. You know, after the official confirmation that Will Power was leaving the 12 car at Team Penske, we scripted out, and by scripted, I mean I wrote down 5 words and 2 question marks. But even so, we scripted out a nice little tribute to Will Power and Team Penske and planned to run through great highlights of his career there and thanks for the memories. And then right as we sat down to record, we find out that yes, what we suspected that Will might be driving for another team next year is in fact true. We're looking at Will Power in the 26 Andretti car.
I know, shocking, huh? I actually
Yeah.
it does surprise me. I didn't see Hurdle leaving that seat. I know he's going to go as a test driver for Cadillac F1, but I didn't realize that would was going to preclude him from still competing in IndyCar. It's not like he's a reserve driver where he has to be on call, right? He's a test driver, but he wants F1, and so he's leaving that seat to go do that. That opened up that seat. I was really kind of expecting that Power might end up at RLL, but
I had
that
heard RLL rumors as well.
yeah.
That makes sense. They're looking for somebody like Will Power to kind of bring some gravitas to their racing. Um, but
Yeah.
he's taking that gravitas to Andretti instead. And two great teammates in Marcus Ericsson and Kyle Kirkwood. Both guys he's talked about liking racing a lot. I think we're going to see some great stuff from Will and Andretti. And also going to be interesting to see him drive the Honda engine.
Yeah, it's that's true. It's going to be a different power plant for him, so we'll get a sense. Probably for the first time, we'll be able to ask a driver what's the difference between
Yeah.
the two. So I'll definitely do that when I get to talk to him next year, or we both can when we're in St. Pete for the
But
opener.
look, just because we've got some big news today doesn't mean it's not still worth talking about how phenomenal the driver team pairing was Will Power in the Penske 12. And I still think it's worth taking a look at the last 17 years and thanking him for everything he's given us.
No, I agree. I think he's done, he's one that's one of those iconic pairings. It's been so good. It's like, like Dixon at Ganassi.
Hmm.
It's just you almost can't imagine Power not in a Penske car because all of the major milestones of his career pretty much have come as a member of that team.
Yeah, he did get his first race win in his first season in 2008 with his prior team, but every other career milestone that Will Power has is set at Penske, starting in 2009 in his first race in a Penske car where he set pole
Yeah.
at St. Petersburg.
Sort of, yeah, the shades of things to come. The man who owns the most poles, it would make sense that his first race for Penske, he would get one.
That's right. And you know what? While we're talking numbers, let's just go through this. Let's
Sure.
let's look at it from a very high level perspective. Here's what Will Power was able to accomplish at Team Penske. We know that he is a two-time IndyCar champion in 2014 and 2022. He has achieved 45 wins in his career. That puts him fourth all time
Yeah, behind some
behind.
pretty legendary names. I mean, only AJ Foyt, Dixon, and Mario Andretti are ahead of him. You
I was
know,
going to say there's an Andretti in there, right? I'm
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
but look
Uh,
at, Michael Andretti is behind him. And
mhm.
no, all the Unsers are behind him. Legendary drivers, and he has more wins than they do.
And nobody in the history of the sport has more poles. Will Power has set pole in 71 total races. I needed a contrast for this. I needed to truly understand what that number meant in comparison to other drivers. I looked at Scott Dixon's poles. Because they've kind of their careers mirror each other in a lot of ways. Scott Dixon has set pole 28 times.
Wow. It,
to Will's
that's
71.
that's unbelievable when you think about it, because yes, they both are, driving in the same era, driving for very competitive teams. It
Hmm.
just shows you that,
Both champions, both 500 winners.
yeah, exactly. And it just goes to show you that Power knows how to set a lap, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to that one lap, he has something magical in him and he knows how to go get it. So, I think they're really going to enjoy having that at Andretti. They've been lacking something like that. It feels like this last season.
I should think so. We have consistently talked about being less impressed with Andretti than we thought we would, specifically after qualifying. So you have to imagine that adding Will to your team is a massive boon for them. 108 career podiums, that's fourth all time. He won the Indy 500 in 2018. And this is fun. He drove for Penske from 2009 to 2025. In that 17 years, he had a race win in 16 of 17. He only did not win a race in 2023.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. His consistency, it, he has been at the top of the championship standings every year. He's been in the car, right? He finished ninth twice, I believe. Never
Yep.
outside the top 10.
And interestingly, he finished ninth last year, this past year. We all know
Right.
that. The last time he finished ninth, 2021. Or sorry,
Oh,
yeah, 2021. So what did he do next year?
he won
Came
the
back and took the
championship.
won the whole damn thing. And I know that jumping teams, changing engines, and asking somebody to be in championship contention is really tough. But after a really deep look into his full career, you just kind of have to feel if there's a guy who can do it, it is Will Power.
Yeah, he's not taking that seat just to spin a few more laps before he retires. He is taking that seat because he believes he can still win races, and he's going to go out and try and prove that to everybody, especially the people at Penske who wouldn't give him the 3-year deal that he really wanted.
Yeah. And in talking about him moving to a new team, his first season with Penske, like I said, he sat pole his first ever race with Penske. He only raced 7 races that season. It was a short season for him. Won one race. It was his fifth race with the team that he won. 2010, his first full season. He won 5 races and took 8 poles and lost the championship by 5 points. In 2011, 6 wins, lost the championship by 18 points. In 2012, he lost the championship by 3 points. So it's not just a fluke that he can jump into a car and put in a good lap. We know this is a guy who gets comfortable quickly.
Yeah, especially on the road courses,
Hmm.
although he's proven over the years that he can drive the ovals as well.
I
But
would never call him an oval guy, but I would also never count him out on one.
right, right. So it's going to be really interesting to see then, what he does, because not only is he that great driver, but he's a great personality. And that's a team I think that appreciates personalities. They're going to
Yeah, definitely.
let him have some fun, I believe. So, maybe
Yeah,
we'll see some more of those power antics, right?
yeah, the phenomenal career stats are only half of why we love him, right? There's also the flipping double birds to the IndyCar director after being forced to restart in unsafe conditions in the rain. And that was way back early in his career. There's this year plowing Kyle Kirkwood out of the way in Detroit in a practice when he didn't need to because he just wanted the lane,
Yeah.
and the way he presents himself in front of journalists is always so beautifully candid. I think Andretti's, you're right. They're a team that likes to display their drivers' personalities, and I think they're going to encourage that.
Yeah, we're going to see the Aussie in him come out, I think, even more. So, and you know all about that, having lived in Australia for 3 years, right?
Yeah, spent
Uh,
3 years in Canberra, so not too close to Queensland. But I gotta say, when I listen to his accent, I can place him from Toowoomba in a heartbeat. He is Queensland, and I
that's
love it about him.
That's great. It's so that's exciting news. I'm glad we don't have to say goodbye to Power. I'm glad we don't have to watch him, run sports cars somewhere or pick up
Hmm.
a NASCAR road course, specialist gig or whatever. Having him in IndyCar where he belongs is great. The other thing that I realized thinking about that, his longevity and obviously Dixon's longevity with Ganassi, that kind of goes to, what do we expect from Alex? If that team has that kind of longevity as well, is he going to stick around now? Does that give him more? I don't know.
Look, look, I've been thinking about that all day. I've been researching and reading about great long careers with teams, and of course, you can't help but think like, oh man, if this guy stays with this team, and there are a number of young and younger drivers who I feel that way about right now. I feel that way about Pato O'Ward. What are we going to be looking at in 10 years, 15 years when he's maybe ending his career with McLaren? We've
Yeah.
got a lot of great drivers who could do really, really phenomenal and epic careers.
Yeah,
So,
great young drivers with top flight teams
mhm.
that if they decide to stay, they could have Dixon and Power like careers. They've already started to show it. So that, that's the beauty of this sport. There's
and
always new people coming in.
and did you see the numbers for Nashville?
No, I didn't. I missed that.
Over 130% more viewership. So,
Great.
100% more of the viewership, not more. Apologies to the mathematicians. Um, so if you're a driver and you want to stay where the racing is hot and the fans are good, IndyCar is becoming more and more attractive, and
Yeah.
I'm very happy to say it.
I just hope they put more people in the seats in Nashville next year. The TV viewership was solid, and as we said, of course, it was a great race to watch. So I'm glad of that. But it's a spectator sport, and we need people in the stands. So, more people have to come out to Milwaukee so they can open up those other grandstands. More people have to come out to Nashville. You're going to have a great time, a great experience. You're going to see great racing. You're going to have the whole weekend is a festival. So, that's the kind of stuff I want to see happen more. And having big names stick around and young guns coming up to challenge them is only going to make this season more exciting. So,
I'm so happy. I've spent the last day and a half in kind of a little bit of a malaise thinking about what IndyCar looks like without Will Power. He's literally been there the whole time I've been following the sport. So saying goodbye to Will Power here would be tragic for me
right.
and truly the end of my intro era to the sport. And I'm really, really glad to know that we've got more time with him. I wanted to end this podcast by telling him directly, as though he's listening, thank you for brightening our Sundays for the last 17 years. And I am so thrilled to thank him for continuing to do so in 2026. Will, cannot wait to see you in that Andretti car. This is fantastic.
Well, we will tag him in all the posts, so maybe he'll see your message. And if not, you'll get to tell him in person in St. Pete when we show up there next year for the start of the season. So, yeah, for all of us at Rides and Drives Team Radio, for Kaz, for myself, the rest of the team, we will be talking to you soon. Thanks for joining us on this special episode, and have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.